It's time for Health Futures with Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth. This is Arizona's only show dedicated to providing you with expert advice on how to live a longer, healthier, and happier life. To learn more, call 602-264-8009. That's 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Bob Roth.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Health Futures, Taking Stock in You. I'm your host, Bob Roth, and it must be Friday, and indeed it is. It is Friday, June the 4th. We're coming at you live from the Scottsdale Air Park Studios for Money Radio. We come at you at 1510 a.m., 105.3 FM, and the World Wide Web, moneyradio1510.com. And if this is the first time you're tuning in, our show is about how our older adult population can live a healthier, happier life. And these guests that I have in the studio here with me, that's exactly what they do. They work on trying to make aging a more pleasant experience, and they work on wellness, and they really have the secret sauce, if you would, to being able to age as successfully as one can. So without further ado, I want to introduce our guests. I have Ken Reinstein. He's been in the studio a number of times before. He's the Director of Marketing of Sun Health. Welcome back to the studio.
Thank you, Bob. It's always fun to be here, and great to talk with you about an area that we share a lot of mutual respect for your organization as well.
Well, thank you so much. And we're here today to talk about your Center for Health and Well-Being, and no person is better to talk about it than your sidekick, so to speak, and the person to your right and my left, Teri Elkins. She's the practice manager for Center for Health and Well-Being for Sun Health. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you, and happy Friday, everyone.
Well, it's so great to have you. So here we are. We're talking about Sun Health Center for Health and Well-Being. Tell us a little bit about it, Teri.
Well, we're located in Surprise, Arizona, and we offer a great range of health and wellness programs and services that is geared towards our wonderful senior population. For instance, we have the diabetes prevention program. Within Arizona, Sun Health is the only provider of this program for the Medicare population. We also have a diabetes self-management program. So if you are dealing with diabetes, we have a program for you. We have senior fitness classes right at the Center for Health and Well-Being. And we do a lot of other events too, like Stand Up to Fall that we're going to be having this fall, that can just help assess your risk fall assessment and give you some great resources. And we're going to have some great topics just to help, again, our senior population.
So we just jumped right in. So we and I put you right on the spot, Teri. But I want to really talk about Sun Health as a organization overall, and I think it's really important for our listeners to really understand how important Sun Health is to our community. And Ken, you are kind of the senior statesman, and you've been in the show before, and I can talk about Sun Health, but nobody can talk about it more or better than you can. I mean, certainly its roots go back a long way, go back to when Del Webb really organized that whole community on the West Valley.
Yeah, the Sun Health roots definitely run deep in the West Valley, in the Sun Cities. Sun City opened up in approximately 1960, and actually the roots and origin of Sun Health go back to just a few years later, 1966, when a group of citizens got together, realized that living as far out then as they did. It's still pretty far out, but it's a lot easier to get from point A to point B these days than it was in the 60s. But they wanted healthcare in their backyard, not having to go all the way down to downtown Phoenix. So they put together a grassroots campaign to build a hospital that became Banner Boswell now. That was a hospital that Sun Health built in 1970, followed in 1988 by Del Webb Medical Center. And then in 2008, we sold those hospitals to the Banner system. But to this day, and ever since, we are the foundation that supports those organizations. And, Sun Health Foundation, that everyone knows pretty well, they're in the middle of a $48 million campaign, actually beyond the middle of a $48 million 48-month campaign. They're about 67% to goal. And a number of key things have come from that, but one of the biggest and most public-facing is the complete transformation of Banner Boswell's emergency department. just a $34 million investment that just reopened. They reopened up a brand new ER department, emergency department last October, and it's really cool. It was right about on the 50th anniversary of the hospital opening. So we're raising funds for that, plus cancer care and women and infants care at Del Webb and a number of other initiatives. So it's a great program that we have going on there. As we've all endured this COVID pandemic over the last, over a year and a half, our organization with 3 senior living communities and serving the population, we've really had a pretty positive way of kind of managing our way through that. We've had very minimal spread at any of our communities. We stayed ahead of it. We took a full court press starting from the beginning last year when this started and put everything we could to really focus on keeping our residents safe, our employees safe, our clients and our donors and everything else. We did a lot to really support them. So it's been quite a ride, quite a journey to be a part of that. But I'm proud of how we've weathered the storm and done it the right way.
And how have you responded, for sure. And what's interesting is you talked about the hospitals and you talk about Boswell and Del Webb, which are now part of the Banner family, and you guys are supporting it through the foundation and the emergency department. I can't wait to see, because I got to imagine everything's state of the art.
It's beautiful.
And I want to say this to our listeners: 67% towards their goal. $42 million raise? $48 million raise. Well, we come at our listeners through Money Radio. So there's definitely some affluency here. And if you do know about Sun Health, please, go to their website, sunhealth.org. You can make a donation, and that's a shameless plug from me, not from you.
Thank you.
But want our listeners to know that you can support us at Sun Health and help them get to that 100% of their goal.
And 100% is actually a key factor too, because 100% if you donate $1 is going to the community, because all the overhead is actually taken care of by more of our corporate umbrella. So that's really nice. All the money goes to the community.
And that's good to know. And I mean, when we talk about the community, you talked about the roots, and you and I can talk all day long about Sun Health. The roots are the hospitals, but you guys were investing in communities, senior living communities. You mentioned the 3.
Yes.
And it's Grandview Terrace, it's La Loma
Village,
and La Loma Village, and it is
the Colonnade.
The Colonnade, and you've made significant investments in the Colonnade and the Grandview Terrace properties recently.
Well, actually, all 3. So Grandview Terrace will celebrate its 24th anniversary just in about 2 weeks, about 20 days from now on the 24th. And we just finished a multi-million-dollar, multi-year renovation, reimagination of that whole property as well.
Wow.
If you walked into it right now, and you're obviously always welcome, and it's nice that we are now able to open and welcome people from the outside world to come in because of the lessening of the positivity rates and all that. But it's a brand new facility. I hate to use that F word, but that's a word that, it's a community. But the common term is facility, but we really actually cringe when we say that word, because it's a resort community. I mean, it's wellness focused. And speaking of wellness and the foundation, actually, Sun Health Foundation is really supports a lot of the operations and everything that we do at the Center for Health and Wellbeing through our Sun Health Wellness Division that Teri manages. So most of the programs we offer, many of them are free or very low cost, or they're insurance covered, for most programs. So it's all about making sure that people are healthy and living their best lives out in the West Valley and beyond.
And Grandview Terrace it's right next to Boswell, right?
Del Webb.
Yes.
It's
right next to Del Webb Hospital. So it's literally like almost on the campus.
They are on the same. They share blacktop together.
Yep. And also, if I'm not mistaken, and we haven't really talked about it, is the research center.
Banner Sun Health Research Center is actually at the Boswell campus, and we do a lot with them. We work very closely, especially through wellness. And we talked earlier off the air about Marty Finley and our memory care navigator program, and Sun Health Wellness. Banner Sun Health Research Institute focuses so much on Alzheimer's and dementia care, and we work very closely with them on a number of initiatives. They have several things coming up, like brain health check-ins and other things, and our next Sun Health Live Well magazine actually features 2 articles about that'll be out in just a couple weeks.
And one of the things that they do is they have this brain and body donation program,
Yes.
which is phenomenal. And if you want to learn more about it, go up to sunhealth.org and you can learn more about it. Or is there a phone number they can call too?
Yes, let me get back to you on that, because I forget that we don't use phone numbers anymore because everything's so virtual these days. But I'll get you that phone number.
Well, didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I actually have my computer open. I have a phone number for administration, 623-471-9550.
That'll get you close enough. Yep.
And for the foundation, because we're looking for donations, because we want to get to 100%, 623-471-8500.
Yes.
You hear the music. We're almost done our first segment here. I want to get back talking to Teri Elkins about the Center for Health and Wellbeing. Stick around. We got 3 more to go. We'll be right back.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. You're listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you, and we're in our second segment here. And if you're just tuning in, I've got Sun Health here in the studio with me. I've got Ken Reinstein. He's the Director of Marketing. And I've also got Teri Elkins. She is the Practice Manager for the Center for Health and Wellbeing. If you missed our first segment, I put Teri on the spot, and she started telling us a lot about the Center for Health and Wellbeing. And then we dialed it back a little bit, and I had Ken tell us a little bit about Sun Health's history. And we certainly made an appeal because they're in the middle of a capital raise, and for those that want to make a donation, go out to sunhealth.org. You can learn more about it. But we learned about the Sun Health Foundation. We learned about the Sun Health communities. We learned about the origins of the Banner Health, or should I say, the Sun Health hospitals, which were sold off to Banner, and there's a partnership between Sun Health and Banner. And certainly we learned a little bit about the upgrade at the Boswell Emergency Room that the foundation raised a lot of money to do. But I want to get back to really talking about Sun Health's Center for Health and Wellbeing, and that's what Teri does. And I've been by the location where you guys practice, and it's right next to the foundation. Mm-hmm. And I've always been so impressed because there's always classes going on in there. So tell us a little bit about, you shared with us about the Stand Up to Fall in September. You talked about diabetes, and diabetes is something that we need to really get a handle on. And we have so many people out there that either have it or are pre-diabetic. So I'm going to have you take it away from here.
Yeah, and just, with the pre-diabetes, every 1 in 3 people in Arizona have pre-diabetes. 90% of them don't even know they have it. So it is a real serious condition. And that program I want to focus on a little bit, our diabetes prevention program. So that is an evidence-based lifestyle change program that's through the CDC. And Sun Health, because of how well our programs do and our participants, we're actually recognized by the CDC. And we're the only Medicare suppliers. So if you have Medicare and want to take this program, we're the only organization that can offer it to participants.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's not just here in Arizona.
Yes, that's just here in Arizona, just in the state of Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah. So
and completely paid for by Medicare.
Yeah. So it's covered by Medicare. We can always call to verify benefits and that kind of stuff if you've never taken it. It's a great program, and it's a year-long program. So a lot of people kind of freak out when they hear a year-long. But how it is the first 6 months you're going to go for about weekly and then bi-weekly, and that's where you're really going to learn how to establish healthy habits. Because we all know how to eat good. We all know we should exercise, but actually putting it into action. That's where it takes place here, and having that group support. I come from a family history of prediabetes. My son is type 1. He has type 1 diabetes. So I know how expensive it is. I went through my own weight loss journey of 75 pounds. So I know the struggle of it. It's not easy. It's hard. So we teach about, we do teach about nutrition, but also you learn about how to manage stress. Triggers, what triggers are causing you to maybe make unhealthy habits. Physical activity, making it a habit, dealing with stress, finding your like-minded tribe, so people who are all in this with you. Last year, July of 2020, we actually launched this program online. So what's really nice, especially for our Medicare population, is during this time right now, they're able to either take the class in person at the Center for Health and Wellbeing or do it online. And we have this great online platform that's very interactive. They get a digital scale. They still get one-on-one coaching. And they can kind of go back and forth. They can go in person or online, whatever they feel the most comfortable with. So that's really great too. And we also, we have participants who may have diabetes already. Well, we got them too. We have a diabetes self-management program that's about 5 weeks long at the Center for Health and Wellbeing, and that can really help participants who have diabetes learn how to manage it correctly, eat healthy. We have wonderful diabetes educators, and we also have a monthly diabetes connection group that's open to anybody in the public. You don't have to have diabetes, so it can be pre-diabetes, have diabetes, don't even have it, you have a loved one, and it's a place where everybody can get together and offer some group support. And we do offer that free to the community too.
It's interesting. Diabetes affects every single organ in the body.
Yes.
And if you can't manage it, it will manage you and it will take you down.
Yes, and it's very costly.
It is very costly, and I mean, it'll cost you your health too. And I'm sure you see a lot of that, especially with your personal connection to it.
Yeah, what I tell people is my son has type 1. There's nothing he can do to reverse that. There's nothing. He can just manage it. However, pre-diabetes can be reversible with lifestyle changes.
Exactly.
So they do have that.
Well, and I also like the fact that you shared about the virtual piece, because that was one of the questions I was thinking about as you were describing this, is just that how you launched this thing last year, how were you able to get connected to your community? And you've shared that you did that virtually, but now you're opening up to either or. You can do it in person, or you could still stay virtual. Yeah,
or you can go back and forth between the two.
That's incredible. I mean, it really is an incredible resource that you have. And 1 in 3 are pre-diabetic, and they don't even know it. And for our listeners, that pre-diabetes, that's measured by A1C levels. And if I'm not mistaken, it's 5.8 to 6.4?
Nope. 5.7 to 6.4 is that pre-diabetes range. So also for this program, your BMI is over 25%, because it truly is a weight loss program.
Right.
So which people like that, the weight loss.
Sure.
But yeah, it's that pre-diabetes. You don't have to be diagnosed by your doctor. We just need current lab work, and you can call us and we can help get that information from your doctor, what we need, and help with registration, collect insurance, verify benefits, all of that kind of stuff we can help with.
And you talk about diets, and I mean, there's so many fad diets out there, right?
Yeah.
And obviously the diets that you have are very structured, and they're in the way that they can be sustainable, because I know that people do these crazy diets, whether it's a protein diet or carbo diet or you name it.
Yep, I've done it.
There are lots of fad diets, but I mean, these diets are complete lifestyle changes.
And I don't even like to call them diets. It's just healthy eating, which works, because I tried every diet under the sun. I mean, Weight Watchers, keto, Atkins, everything. And I would always gain the weight back. But once I started to address lifestyle and look at food as what is nourishing my body and what can I sustain? What can I go to a barbecue and still enjoy and not be like, oh, I went off my diet, hands up.
No free days.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, you can always have your treats in moderation. And that's what we teach. It's just the moderation and listening to your body, because your body is your best tool. Your body will tell you if your body likes that food or not.
Right. No doubt. And Teri, I commend you. I mean, 75 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you must have so much energy now. And that's a big difference. I mean, you think about it. I mean, I know people that lose weight, and they're just like, they find themselves with more energy than they ever had before.
Oh,
and they can do a lot more things. And you feel a lot better. I mean, your clothes fit really good. And
that's always a perk.
Oh, it is a perk. But also, to the downside is now you spend a lot of money on clothes instead of food.
Don't tell my husband that.
Well, hopefully he's not listening, but
no, but it is. You do feel better, and you always have your ups and downs. And what I tell participants, because I used to teach the program too before becoming practice manager, I taught the program, and we're always going to have slips or fall off the wagon, and I like to look at those as learning opportunities. you have to develop new skill sets, especially for holidays or if you're in a new situation. And it's just practicing over and over and until it becomes a habit, and you will surprise yourself. Like for me, exercise becomes a habit. I'm up at 5 o'clock every morning exercising because it's a habit.
Wow. Now, kudos to you. So I know we're coming up close to halftime, but what I want to spend the third segment on is really learning about all the other programs that you have. So weight management and diabetes isn't the only thing that you guys do.
We have a lot more.
And I've been by your studios there, and I've seen people practicing other things, and I want to talk about it. We're halftime here at Health Futures. I've got Sun Health here in the building. Stick around. We got a whole second half to come. We'll be right back.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. You're listening to Health Futures, Taking Stock in You. I'm your host, Bob Roth, and if you're just tuning in, we're in our second half here. I've got Sun Health here in the studios with me. If you missed our first half, you can catch it right up on our website at cypresshomecare.com. Click on the media button, third button down is radio show. You'll catch the first half of this show and many more. So without further ado, I've got Ken Reinstein here in the studio. He's the Director of Marketing for Sun Health, and I've got Teri Elkins. She's the Practice Manager for Sun Health Center for Health and Wellbeing. In our first and second segments, we've learned a lot about Sun Health and its origins from Ken, and we've learned a lot about what Teri's up to with the Center for Health and Wellbeing. We spent a lot of time talking about diabetes, and we talked about nutrition, and during the break there, we were talking about some of the employees that you have running those programs. If you wouldn't mind, touch on them, and then I want to talk about some of the other programming that you're doing at the Center for Health and Wellbeing.
Yeah, perfect. So our diabetes self-management and our pre-diabetes are taught by registered dietitians. So they are registered dietitians, Melva and Julia. So they're great. They have a wealth of knowledge with prediabetes and diabetes and nutrition. And, we can also see people just if you want just general nutrition advice too. So, and then we recently added a new massage therapist. So we're offering massages. We're having some great specials right now. So we have a massage therapist, which is great to help us relax.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I could use one right now.
Me too.
It's the weekend, so maybe I might get one. We'll see. So there are other programs that you run, and I've been by and I've seen, it looked like Tai Chi, and I know you do other programming in there. And let's face it, I mean, we all need to work on the exercise part and the balance part, and I think you look at the whole mind, body, and spirit piece. So talk to us a little bit about some of the programming that you're doing over there.
Yeah, so in person we have mat yoga, we have chair yoga, we offer the Tai Chi class, and we have strength training classes. So fitness classes are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Wednesdays, and Fridays. Yep. You can go to our website to register for the classes. They're, great classes. We have the trainers are wonderful, very knowledgeable in their field. We have great outcomes. Our classes get full right away, so they are very great. So check out our fitness.
Yeah, so make sure you go to sunhealthwellness.org to learn more about that. And also, you talked about the diabetes program being authorized and accepted by CMS, and you're the only program. And for our listeners, that's the Center of Medicare and Medicaid Services.
Actually, it's for CDC, though.
CDC, I'm sorry.
Both.
Oh, both? Yes, okay.
Yeah.
CDC and CMS.
Yeah.
So, you could bill, obviously Medicare for that. But these other classes, is there a fee for those? Is it, tell me, can I bill Medicare for that? How's that all work?
For the diabetes prevention program and the diabetes and even just nutrition, we can bill for Medicare. We always need to just call to verify benefits are available.
Exactly.
That kind of stuff. So there's always that option that we can bill. For the fitness classes,
They're about, yeah, so fitness classes are billed at $5 per session. However, most of our series classes are 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 8 weeks, and you do have to purchase the whole series up front, but it's $5 per session. And if there's a reason that we need to cancel it,
it's so
we'll
reasonable.
work with you.
Absolutely.
But a lot of our classes, including Teri mentioned, there's a diabetes support group. Those are 100% available, no cost. And a lot of, like I mentioned before, tying back into our Sun Health Foundation, a lot of that is because of the support of our Sun Health Foundation and our community donors who support programs like that. So it's a great program. And, we talked about our audience is primarily for the older adult audience. We actually, that's a whole different thing. That is our we have our Live Well Learning program online too, which does offer a lot of online on-demand programs available anytime, anywhere. There is a cost for that to sign up for some of those classes. So
Nominal.
Very nominal. Yes,
Yeah.
you can, and if there's a wealth of knowledge there, and all the programs we offer, all the instructors and providers of our classes. Almost all of them are focused on the audience that we serve. So they're specialists in dealing with people who are 55, 65 and up, and you think of a yoga class, you might not think of a 85-year-old person standing against a chair to help them strengthen, but those are a lot of the people that we have there. And it's not just that. If you're 45 years old, you're welcome in our class as well. But we welcome all to come to the class, and it's right there. It's available during the day, and again, because of the pandemic and things, we have gone to a lot of these online services, both for our diabetes and our wellness programs, but also for some of our classes as well.
Yeah, like we haven't mentioned yet, but we offer free community events that used to be in person, but now they're all Zoom, and those are 100% free. So if you go to our website, we'll have talks from myself, from our registered dietitians, from local physicians on different topics, and those are all free, and they're right now Zoom, so you can attend them anywhere. So definitely check those out.
So I'm looking online, and I give you guys huge props on this. I mean, the website is robust. It's easy to navigate through it. Again, sunhealthwellness.org. So our popular classes, brain health. You talked about balancing your fall risk, inflammation in your diet, managing atrial fibrillation. That's easy.
Easy for you to say.
That's the end of the week. I'm tired. Mediterranean lifestyle, and I know that Mediterranean lifestyle probably includes that Mediterranean diet.
Yes.
And I like the wine part.
Me too.
And olive oil too. I like that too. So nutrition and kidney health, normal aging versus dementia. I mean, that's got to be a very popular class.
That's led by your friend Marty, who you like, Marty Finley, who's our Sun Health memory care navigator.
And then you got strength training, chair yoga plus, and Tai Chi. You have it all.
There's a lot of stuff. I know we're even going to be having talks about hospice, and that's very personal for me because my dad got put on hospice. So that was a whole learning experience. So I highly suggest that one just to learn about it because it's very complex.
It is complex, and I went through it myself with my stepmom. Didn't really know what that journey was going to be like, and that was an eye-opener. And it's not something that everyone wants to raise their hand and participate in, but it's good knowledge to have.
Well, and two, there's success stories. But my dad has, he's severely overweight. He's had triple bypass. He's 73 years old. December, he ended up with double pneumonia again in the hospital. And it was like, okay, he has to go to hospice. And he wanted to come home. And my parents luckily live right by me. So I was able to help my mom. And came home, and we've all kind of prepared ourselves. Okay, this is it. It's time now. Oh, no. My dad's lost 90 pounds.
He had another plan.
He did. He's actually doing a lot better. He's still on hospice, and he actually really enjoys it because he deals with one doctor. He has one nurse. Everything comes to him. Which I think has helped with his stress. But he's actually been doing really good. Since
he may graduate. They may kick him off of hospice, and that wouldn't be a bad thing.
No. So for us, it was a total blessing in disguise.
But I will say this, and you weren't intending to give a plug to hospice, but hospice is an amazing resource that we all have access to, especially if you are Medicare. It's for free service. And it is so beneficial not only to the patient, but to the families. I mean, that they help is
that
amazing.
too, and Sun Health actually was a resource for me. Our Sun Health at Home, they were the ones who I called to ask, what do I do?
Yeah.
And they actually guided me.
And we talked about a lot of things. We didn't talk about Sun Health at Home yet. Wow.
I can give you an update on that if you want that now, or you want to save that for the icing on the cake.
Well, let's tee it up. Let's tee it up for that fourth segment because we've had Barbara in here and we've had Nicole.
Yep.
Not once but twice in the last year, and I'm just blown away how much they've grown.
Yeah. So it's continuing to grow. So the Sun Health at Home program is it's unlike Cypress Care. It's not home health care. We work with organizations like yours, but we are, in effect, a community without walls, a life care community without walls. So we allow people to age in place in their home. We now have 113 members, and there are several other applications in play right now with our team there. We are adding a second wellness coordinator. As a matter of fact, literally just a couple days ago on Wednesday, our second wellness coordinator accepted their position, so they'll be starting in a couple weeks. And that's the heart of the program. It kind of goes along with everything else we do. It's a person to help you navigate and stay healthy. If something happens that you need to whether go to a hospital or whatever, we're actually usually the first contact for most of our members. We'll be at the hospital with you. If you have to go to the emergency room, we'll be there with you 24/7. It's an amazing program, and
it really is. And it's amazing. You're 113 members, and I'm going to tell you, I remember when Jennifer Drago was here in July of 2016, and she was talking about this program, and I think there were less than 10.
Yeah, we had just launched.
So, I mean, you guys have done a phenomenal job. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the fourth segment. And we'll close really talking about the Center for Health and Wellbeing with Teri and giving us updates on what is coming up. So you're listening to Health Futures, Taking Stock in You. You hear the music? A little bit of Who to take us out the third segment. I believe this one's Bob O'Reilly, right, James? There you go. Not Teenage Wasteland. Stick around. We got one more segment. I've got Teri Elkins, Ken Reinstein from Sun Health. We'll be right back.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. You're listening to Health Futures, Taking Stock in You, and if you're just tuning in, we're in our fourth segment here. I've got Sun Health in the studio. I got Ken Reinstein. He's the Director of Marketing. And I've got Teri Elkins. She is Sun Health Center for Health and Wellbeing Practice Manager. We've learned a lot about Sun Health and what they're doing. I urge you to go to our website at cypresshomecare.com. Click on the media button. Third button down is radio show. When we left off on the third segment, I had Ken updating us on Sun Health at Home. And I will tell you, phenomenal work that you guys are doing. Like you said, it is really, where people want to be is at home. And I just would love for you just to wrap it up in terms of, what you guys are doing, where you're at. You said you just hired a new wellness coordinator, I think it was.
Just hired a new wellness coordinator, and that person's a nurse. That they're a nurse who will be your advocate whenever you need health care, whether it's just to stay healthy and stay well, or if something happens that you need a little more urgent emergent care, that they'll be there to support you. Typically, a lot of our members are people who may not have family here in the state of Arizona,
right.
And so it's a real benefit to them. It is again, it's not home care services. We work with home care providers just like Cypress and others, but we are a program that provides everything that you could get if you moved into one of our three typical senior living communities, our brick and mortar communities. But as I think you're aware, most people, about 90% of people, would prefer to stay in their own homes.
Exactly.
And we offer a mechanism, a way to do that for them, as well as a way to, should they want to move into one of our communities, or if they need more significant care under assisted living or skilled nursing, it's just like anyone who lives in our residential communities. They have a priority and an opportunity to do that through the Life Care program, which is an insurance-based program.
See, it's Friday.
Yeah, it's easy for me to say. It's an insurance-backed program, and Sun Health at Home, we're the first ones in the state of Arizona, one of the first ones west of the Mississippi to offer that kind of a program.
I think that's phenomenal. And also, this wellness coordinator, and you used the word, and it came to mind, is a navigator for you. They're an advocate for you. they're a coach for you. I mean, you have access to them, basically anytime you need healthcare advice or counsel or assistance. And like you said, if you get admitted to the hospital, that wellness coordinator will be your Sherpa, so to speak.
Absolutely. We're your advocate when if you don't have any other family or spouse or children in town, and we'll coordinate and work closely with them. And all of our programs, even like when we're having our diabetes, people are enrolled in our diabetes programs, whether it's prevention or the management, we work directly and very interactively with your physician. That's one thing that we're really proud of. So we're an advocate, we're a support service, and we do everything to help you to live a healthy, prosperous life we can do.
And if you want to learn more, sunhealth.org. Everything you ever wanted to know is right up there.
And I will also, so we have 3 websites, and sunhealthwellness.org is also they're all connected in some way or another.
You can get to them all from this site.
We talked about all these classes that Teri and you guys have spoke about in the last couple segments. On June 15th is the next time our bi-monthly Live Well magazine comes out, and with that, there's a lot of great information and articles, but we list all of our classes. If you want to be sort of in the know and in the first group to get that information, if you go to sunhealthwellness.org, upper right-hand corner, you click on Live Well Magazine. You can subscribe to the magazine, absolutely no cost, and you can set up to either get a hard copy in the mail or a digital information emailed to you, and you can get weekly emails with classes that we have coming up, as well as our bi-monthly series of classes, including that hospice class that Teri mentioned last segment.
So Teri, I want to bounce it over to you. We've only got a couple minutes here, but tell us a little bit more about what's going on at the Center for Health and Wellbeing.
So we are open for business. I would like to say that. So we are open.
And do you need to wear a mask or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So we still we'll wear a mask and that kind of stuff just to make sure everybody stays safe in that. But yeah, come in, ask, check out you can get one of the Live Well magazines. You can ask about one of our classes, what we're having, schedule your massage. We are running massages until the end of June, $25 off, which is really great. Plus, you don't have to tip. So this is the first time our massage therapist is an employee of Sun Health. So truly, it's a cost savings right there. And we've had nothing but amazing reviews for her. She's great. But also, if you just have questions and just need help, anything in general, like we've mentioned, Sun Health has been in the Valley for 50 years.
Right.
And, we have a lot of resources. So if it's something completely off topic that maybe we don't teach, still come in and ask us, because we will find it for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you can give us a call too. Our number at the Center for Health and Wellbeing is 623-471-9355.
One more time.
623-471-9355.
So as we get ready to close, I mean, Teri, is there anything that I haven't asked, any questions I haven't asked, anything that you would like to cover? I know that we talked about September being Stand Up for Falls, and I got to tell you, I mean, here it is, it's June the 4th. I mean, I cannot believe that 2021 is almost half over.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, 2020, we can just forget about it. It just kind of was a blip in our lifetime. I mean, we'll never get that year back. I'm hoping that we never see a year like that again. But 2021, we're almost halfway done. So, Stand Up for Falls is coming up.
Yep. Also, we will be having a diabetes expo in November, so there'll be more details for that. So
Fantastic.
Make sure. Again, the easiest is just to subscribe to the Live Well magazine. That's free, and it has all of our classes in there and how to register. And that's probably the best way. Or give us a call.
So I'm just one of those inquiring minds. So tell me a little bit about you as we
About me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're a practice manager. You've got your master's in public health.
I do.
You lost 75 pounds. You look great.
I did.
You
Thank
actually
you.
are glowing. So.
Thank you. Actually, a little backstory. I'm originally from Minnesota, so you will hear the accent a little bit there. Minnesota, yeah, sure. Don't you know? But I've lived here almost 20 years. But ironically, prior to going into health and wellness, I actually worked in finance for 22 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, what did you do in finance?
I did commercial banking, and I did real estate processing. So I worked at Wells Fargo for 18 years and USAA for 2 years.
Wow.
And then I actually decided to go back to school.
Good for you.
And
that's how you got your master's in public health.
Yes. Yep. And the funny story with that is I got tired of dating after my divorce, so I went back to school instead.
There you go.
And got my degree.
And you're doting on her glowing and all that stuff. Teri was our cover model for our November magazine last year, and I am quite honored to have an autographed copy of that magazine at my desk. So
Fantastic.
I'll probably sell it someday and retire from it. I think so.
So Ken, what's going on with you? Tell me. Director of marketing, you get your hands in a lot of different things.
Yeah, actually, we're coming up on. We were talking about September. September actually will mark 10 years for me at Sun Health, which is I can't believe I've worked at any one place for 10 years, plus a few others for several years before that. So yeah, I love doing the marketing and the communications and PR stuff, which is like we're sitting here today for Sun Health. It's a great organization.
It is.
We really focus on just people living their best lives, and it's great to see that. It's great to see the individual stories that the individual people we get to touch, and you can go onto our various websites and see the impact stories of people who've really changed their lives for the better through health and wellness changes made through the services offered, including a lot of stories on our diabetes folks.
Yeah, and one thing we forgot to add is also for our employees, we've also received awards for our employee wellness programs and best place to work.
Yeah, and I've seen that.
Yeah, I'm part of the wellness program too, so I'm part of the employee wellness.
We're multiple year winner of the Healthy Arizona Workplace Award.
Platinum
Level, like 3 or 4 years in a row at least.
Nice.
Yeah, so I will say it's been a long time since I've worked for such a great organization, and it's amazing to be part of Sun Health.
It's truly walking the walk. It's we're not just saying you can do this. We're leading by example.
Fantastic. Well, listen, guys, I've really enjoyed having you here in the studio. I don't know what you guys have planned for the weekend, but hopefully it is staying cool because it's going to be hot, and
Sure.
and as it normally is in the month of June. Well, listen, you make it a great day. Have a great weekend. Ken Reinstein, Teri Elkins, thank you for joining me here at Health Futures. Have a good one. We'll be back next Friday.
We'll see you again.
There's no place like home. You've been listening to Bob Roth's Health Futures. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call Cypress HomeCare Solutions at 602-264-8009. That's 602-264-8009. Or visit cypresshomecare.com. Be sure to join Health Futures with Bob Roth every Friday at noon, right here on Money Radio 1510 and 105.3 FM.